Hey guys, today we're going to talk about how to sell with trust and authenticity. Now, I have kind of a love-hate relationship with sales. I started in sales when I was only 21 years old, working for AT&T in corporate sales. And I, in the course of my early sales career, came to the conclusion that some people have a gift for selling and other people don't. And I am the first to tell you that I was not one of the people, in my opinion, who had that gift. So I worked so hard, and I did okay, but certainly it was very stressful for me, and I just felt like I was trying to get people to do something that they didn't want to do, and for some reason I couldn't kind of break through that mentality. Even though I did have good training in how to do solution based selling and different things that were cool in the late 2000s when it came to sales. But as I've kind of grown in my career beyond that, I left that job and I've worked for a lot of different companies since, mostly as a freelancer. I've come to a conclusion now, 10 years later, that sales is one of my favorite parts of my job because it really gives me an opportunity to get to know my customer well and to build a relationship that will last long into the future. So today we're going to just talk about how to sell by creating trust and being authentic. And I have some really good tools that I think anybody can use. If I can, definitely anybody can, to really build an authentic brand and a sales cycle that really benefits everybody, from the person doing the selling to the customer. So the first tip for how to sell authentically is to sell with story. And now this is not a new piece of advice, but I am not talking about your story or selling with your story. I am talking about selling with your customer's story. And as you may know, I'm a StoryBrand certified guide. This is what we talk about all the time and is kind of our bread and butter, but I think it really applies to this kind of foundational piece of how we sell authentically. It's all about our customers. It's all about their success. And so when we tell the story, it's not about us and the amazing things that we've done. It's about them and what they're trying to do in their life and how we can come alongside them and guide them towards success. So there is a lot to this technique. There is a 7-part framework that I use with all of my clients, developed by Donald Miller and his team at StoryBrand, and it's great. And I'd be happy to go in that with you in more detail at some point. But suffice it to say, the biggest thing that I think stands out for me in this technique is that you're telling your customer's story, and that in that story, you and your brand is not the hero. You are not swooping in to save the day. They are the hero of their own story, and you are the guide who is helping them achieve their vision and their desired outcomes. So that is the first big thing. The second thing that you need to do is you need to think about how you can offer real value to your target customers long before they ever make a buying decision with you. And I know with different industries, it's going to be a shorter sales cycle or a longer sales cycle. So I'm not saying that you're going to lengthen the process longer than it needs to go. But the idea is that from their first encounter with you, you are someone or some brand who is providing real value to them that is going to help them solve a problem that they have. So if I'm offering web design, this is actually one of the things that I do in my business, or I have for the beginning phases of a new business when I don't have a ton of leads coming in, is I've offered free website reviews for target customers. And I do about 10 minutes of consultation on a video. I send it to that person. And through that, they get something real. They can put it into action. I tell them, please use this. You do not have to talk to me again in order to use this. Just go for it. And if you want to have a further conversation, we'll talk after this. And I would say I talk to a lot of the people who I send those to, at least 75%, but I think it's probably closer to 90%. I should actually go check the numbers. But I'm providing authentic value, something that they can really use. I am not asking for something in return. It's a gift. And if I want to use that as a lead generator, or if you want to use that as a lead generator, that's a really good idea. You can then follow up those interactions with emails and other ways to nurture that relationship so you stay top of mind, and when they need a new website, for example, you're top of mind and they might call you. So the second principle is offer real value from the beginning, solve your customers' problems, and they will trust you because you are really in it for their success. The third thing that I have learned over time is don't be afraid of the long game. And what I mean by that is not everybody is going to buy what you are offering, especially if it's a higher ticket item, at the beginning of your conversation with them. In fact, it may take years where you really need to nurture that relationship, where you need to provide value, where you need to continue using their story to talk to them. And as you do that, those people will slowly come to trust you more, and eventually some of them may make a buying decision. But do not feel the pressure to close on every occasion. That is where I think people like me got tripped up in a sales job in the past, where we felt like we were supposed to always be closing. And I think there may be a time and a place for that, but I do not think most of the time that is the case. You can be moving your customers towards a buying decision slowly by just offering real value, continuing to cultivate that relationship. And even if only a percentage of the people you're talking to end up buying what you're selling, you will have the right customers coming through the door at the right time. And if you don't, you probably will need to adjust your offer. You might not be selling the right thing, or you might be telling the wrong story, and you need to tweak and adjust. And again, play the long game, learn what's working, and you will grow.